What's up, guys? So, a few days, maybe I think it was like back last week, I got a message from this guy, Mr. Chicago 891, and I'll share it with you guys because I feel like it can benefit a lot of people. Because it's one of those questions that I feel like are questions, misconceptions that a lot of people have about this subject. And this subject is, well, for starters, sit-ups, and I guess the second one would be, by the way the question sounds, spot body fat removal. You guys watch those commercials, and they, like, have this, like, exercise machine, and they say, use this machine, and it, gets rid of the fat on your belly. We have those, like, ridiculous, like, thermo belts. Anyway, so that's what we're going to cover here. So I'll tell you guys the two questions, these questions he asked me, and we'll go from there. So it was, he was asking if I can recommend ways to tone up my gut without sit-ups. And also it was the best recommendations on aerobic exercises, things like that. So, the first thing I want to start off with is if you're asking for like a toned stomach, abs, things like that, sit-ups, one, are horrible because they only work your hip raisers. You think of the motion, it doesn't really do anything for the abs. Abs are mainly abs are hit by stretching. So doing crunches, what you'd want to do is use a one of those aerobic balls. You can use a half aerobic ball, so that way they're half, you just lay on the floor without having to worry about a giant sphere under you and the balance of that. Or captain's chair, leg lifts, things like that. Things like you hold onto like a pull-up bar and you raise your legs up. Things like that. Things that makes you extend and stretch your abdominal region. And that's just for the main part of your abs. I'm not even talking about like obliques, and I usually do like a Russian twist for things like that. So automatically, sit-ups, if you're asking for abs, sit-ups are like the worst exercise you could do. As for toning up your gut without sit-ups, the thing with toning is all relative to body fat. Muscle tone is all working the muscle so that way it builds the fibers, so that way it looks good, but then it's also losing the body fat so that way it's noticeable. Like bodybuilding community, we make fun of like all those like skinny, like 110-pound like little kids. Those little I don't even know what the fuck they are, to be honest. And they think they have like abs, but there's a big difference between skinny abs and like bodybuilding abs. Skinny abs look fucking stupid. Bodybuilding abs, they're bricks. They look good because they also have a muscle structure around it. But just in general, to get toned, lean down, you gotta concentrate on your body fat percentage. It's all your diet, and diet's the first thing you want to get in check if you're thinking about any sort of exercise, working out, getting in shape. Diet is the first step to anything. Second step is the workouts themselves. Third is, I guess, supplementation for some people. Supplementation is the last thing anyone should think of. I mean, when it comes to the diet, maybe a multivitamin. If your diet's in check, you really don't need that big of a multivitamin. But it does help aid in recovery and things like that, hormones. And that's my mind on that sort of thing, Diet comes first, then your training, and then worry about supplementation afterwards. But this isn't about supplementation, this is about fat loss, toning up, and abs. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. As for aerobic workouts, the problem with aerobic exercises, I mean, you're talking about just like cardiovascular, so running, jogging, biking, swimming, things of that nature. High interval or low interval training, maybe even that, or what is that stuff called? I don't remember what it's called. But my best recommendation is do something low intensity. Something that will elevate your heart rate, but not to a point of anaerobic. Because once you get into anaerobic, you start going into your body goes into like a state of catabolic. It just starts eating your muscles. It's no good. And people will go back and forth, and they'll say other things. This is what I've experienced. So some people might experience something different. This is my take on things. Usually, when you get your heart rate over like a point of like, I think it's 180, 170, that's like anaerobic, and you're not just burning fat, but you're burning muscle. You're eating away muscle because your body needs energy to do it. So I don't know that, and I eat. You gotta look at your meals as well before your exercises, your workouts. Are you eating like simple carbs or complex carbs? After your workouts, are you just going straight protein, or are you going into carbs? It all ties into each other, to themselves. It's all relative to each other. If one thing's not in check, everything goes downward. Especially the diet. If you slip up on like pre-workout's good, you have like complex carbs, you have your protein, you have some vitamins, minerals, you take a pre-workout, which might just consist of an arginine-based supplement and vitamin B's and maybe caffeine, green tea, whatever. But then your post-workout, you just think protein. The problem with that is, like, it's good and all, you have the protein for your muscles, but if you don't have the carbs to, one, spike your insulin, get your body into a anabolic state. Because at the end of a workout, you're catabolic. Because your body is just malnourished. It needs energy. So where's the only energy source it has? Fat and muscle. It's going to go straight for that. Most people say, well, if you wait a little bit longer, you'll burn more muscle, or more fat. Well, okay, but you'll also burn more muscle as well. That's the problem with it. My post-workout always consists of a slow digesting and a fast digesting carb. Usually the fast digesting carb is more of, because you want to put yourself back into homeostasis. And then protein, and then some vitamins, things like that. So that's what I'd recommend. Maybe low interval training, or bike rides, a light brisk walk, maybe even a light jog for aerobic exercises. You don't want to overexert yourself. Too much can be a bad thing. Anyway, I hope it helped. I hope this helps a lot of people. Hope you all enjoy. Please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe, and more videos coming soon.